What's up, guys? Welcome back. We have a huge announcement today. As you see in the title, there is going to be a second North America, South America server. This is massive. This is not going to be, another server in South America or another server in North America. This is going to be another, just a second server. So there's going to be NASA 1 and NASA 2, both located in the same spots. How do I know this? We did an interview, a written interview with XL Games, thanks to Darren Lee, head of business for Archeworld, answered a bunch of my questions, some burning topics, some big issues that you guys want to know about. So thank you 100 times, a million times to XL Games. This all happened because I reached out to them on Twitter, of all places, right? And then they reached out on LinkedIn to me to get in contact with me, and back and forth email chain. So let's jump into this interview here so you can see. There was, let me know that it can be posted around 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, my time. So let's jump into it here. So originally, we tweeted Martin Kawanao, which I believe is the CEO of XL Games, and we got a response not directly from him, again from Darren Lee, the head of business. So let's jump into this. Thank you for taking the time to answer some of my questions. For all of those that don't know me, I've been playing ArcH since the USA Alpha almost 10 years ago and have made countless guides, tips, tricks, and content on YouTube. My channel, Meet Jason. Once Arcworld was announced last year, I was originally very skeptical about a blockchain NFT version, but as I dove deeper into the white paper and AMAs and interviews before the launch, I was intrigued. I played the alpha of Asia Arcworld, and after a few short weeks, I was sold on the game design and hyped for the future. Now that Arcworld is finally launching in North America, South America, can you tell us more about the past 7 months of service in the Asian region, the highs and the lows along the way? The response here. As we were developing and servicing ArcH, we wanted to create Arcworld's Asian server as the start of a proof of concept that we could create a high quality blockchain MMORPG, since creating a great MMORPG is our specialty. The start of the Asian server did not meet our expectations due to various obstacles such as barriers to entry to blockchain technology and the high level of difficulty of the game. However, we continue to believe that the fundamental fun of the game, mixed with the profit that can be generated by having fun in the game, will create the best blockchain gaming experience. As a result, the Asian server was able to become very active, not just in gameplay, but also in land usage and economic transactions. With our experience and lessons learned through servicing Arcworld so far, we are sure we can provide a much more enjoyable experience for the NASA regions. We are very excited to be able to provide the Arcworld experience to the NASA users. So next up we had, I do know quite a few people were sad to see the Void Thief rooting boars, aka the moles, as we call them, got removed. Is there any plans to bring these back for small group PvP or solo players? All right, their answer. The mole content was designed for small group of players and solo players who have reached a certain level of progression. However, we had to remove the mole content since there was a monopoly on these things, on these moles, by a certain number of players after the spawn area and the spawn cycle of the mobs were figured out by the players. It won't be the mole content, but we are planning on continuing to provide content for small groups in other forms. For example, this update has small group PvP content in the revamped version of the Invasion of the Void. All right, so our next question here. Another incredibly debated topic is bots and macros in the game, with many saying that Arcworld is filled with bots and that XL Games does not ban bots or cheaters. Can you provide some insight into how many accounts have been banned since the launch of Arcworld, or anything related to this topic and how you guys are dealing with bots? So unfortunately, their answer, we cannot tell you the exact number of accounts that have been banned. Since the launch of Arcworld, we at XL Games have a unit dedicated to taking countermeasures against the usage of unauthorized use of third-party programs like macros and bots. We have been attaining and analyzing the exploitive programs then restricting the programs and users who have used these programs access to the game. We are also checking gameplay patterns using game logs and restricting users who use exploitive third-party programs. We are constantly strengthening our monitoring systems in order to check how these exploitive third-party programs respond to our fight against them. However, no matter what game it is, complete restriction of all exploitive programs, i.e., macros and bots, is not realistically possible. We are continuously working to improve our response plan for such exploitive programs so that we can provide users with a more pleasant gaming experience. So next up we have seen Exo Games keep up development of content, albeit at a slower pace than many anticipated. What have been the biggest challenges? Their answer: the speed of development is indeed slower than we expected. This is due to two major factors. First, we wanted to make sure that the tokenomics newly introduced to Archeworld is stable. New content requires adding new currency or accurately predicting the supply and demand of Archeum affected by the content. This has us continuously analyzing the live circulation of resources and running economic simulations. Second, the core systems of Archeworld are different from ArcAge. Since the factionless Archeworld is based on faction-based ArcAge, we had to make numerous adjustments for Archeworld. In addition, since we have to consider the NFTs, we had to review and reconsider the content's a lot. From the development team's point of view, it would be nice to just release various contents quickly. However, we are developing with a focus on economic and content stability in Archeworld. All right, and the next question is, why haven't we got trade packs in game yet or ocean content? The response: similar to the answer I gave above, we are developing users' vehicles, such as ships, to be minted into NFTs. We are developing the ships with huge consideration on how we can make them suitable for Archeworld. Once the ships are ready, we will release the ocean content together with ships. We are doing our best to develop and release the ocean content by the end of this coming summer. Massive end of this coming summer, so coming very soon. And they continue on. Since trade can have a huge impact on land values, we are considering a completely different approach compared to ArcAge. It will take some time for the update. However, if possible, we are aiming to release it within this year. Boom, big news right there, guys. So next question. Many players feel that Archeworld content is lacking compared to ArcAge. However, it is great to see the game improving based on player feedback and suggestions. Recently, plus 5% chance was added on gear upgrading after each failed attempt, and I know the players appreciate this feature as it was commonly asked for. Let's talk about land and NFTs. In your last public interview in November, you said you were disappointed with land usage and sales, but it seems like that has all turned around now, and with nearly every single land in-game on the Asian server being occupied and being used by the players. Can you tell people how you were able to improve the system in place, and if you're satisfied with the results so far on land in the Asian server? So their answer: there was a lot of things that didn't work out the way we expected, one of which was the land system. Since Archeworld is a land-based game, we expected that all lands would be contracted immediately when the server launched, but only about half of the land was contracted. As you know, in Archeworld, the land is the center of the game content and economic activities, enabling users to produce Archeum and in turn upgrade their gear and acquire BSLT. At the beginning of the service, there was barriers to entry due to the high price of BSLT. We tried to alleviate the barrier of entry by proceeding with a base for buildings and a rent reduction policy several times. We also guaranteed producers profitability through the operation of the Blue Salt Reserve Fund and introduced the Archeum Brazier system for a fun and rewarding activity. Currently, the usage of all lands in the server exceeds 98%, making it difficult to find empty lands. you can say that the server is very active and stable. So the next question here is, there is some concern with Archeworld not being region locked, that many Asian players will come to the NASA server and buy/rent all the land in the region. After all, owning and farming on the land is profitable. Many might want to do this activity. Do you have any plans to prevent this? Their answer: we've decided that we will open a second server in the Americas as it is deemed necessary after the land minting for the American server. So the users who were not able to acquire land on the first server in the Americans will have an opportunity to acquire land on the second server. So that is huge because they actually revised this. So they sent me a revised interview question answers with the original answer was, based on the data that we have, we're looking at potentially opening a second server. And then they came back and they said this right here: we decided that we will open a second server in the Americas as it is deemed necessary after land minting for the American server. So after that sellout in 11 minutes, they deemed it necessary with the data they have, along with the signups, and based on how fast that land sold out in the NASA public sales. So massive, massive news right there. We don't have anything else to go on. We'll get more information as time goes on, obviously. We don't know if there will be another land minting for the second server. Most likely there will be. This is just speculation on my part now. There is no concrete information from them. But most likely there will be another public land minting for the second server. They did state before in interviews or in the white paper that the Fandom card holders will not have benefits on the second server. So it won't be like the Fandom card holders always get all the land. So if they do a second land sale, it should just be a public sale where everyone has the same equal opportunity to get. So very, very important. And obviously this will be discussed and announced further with further information from XL Games. But massive. I'm so honored that they decided to share this piece of information with me so that I can release it to you guys. Please, if you appreciate this from XL Games, hit that like button, share the video, tell people about this interview, let them know. Great interview. I cannot say enough. Thank you so much for XL Games for doing this. So let's keep going. There's still more great stuff here, guys. So stay with me. All right, so next up, what are your thoughts on NFTs now after seeing the markets for several months? I was personally shocked to see land like extra large and mega lands sell for so much money, approximately 3,000 and 15,000 USD. Did you anticipate sales that high for the larger land plots? Their answer: Archeworld's land NFT has undergone a lot of data verifications and simulations to create a differential profit model based on the size of the land. As the server matures, the value of the large lands will increase as large lands have scarcity in addition to the high profitability. In upcoming content updates, we will be preserving the scarcity value of the land. If the value of the high demand resources rises, as an extensive supplier, the value of land NFT can also increase. All right. So now we talked about Aqua Marina housing is coming up soon based on the roadmap you provided. Can we have more details about this? What should we expect the benefits and usage of these structures? Will Archeworld Fandom NFTs have priority discounted land minting? Any information would be greatly appreciated on this topic. Answer: Floating Marina houses was going to provide additional land, however it's been delayed for now due to other development issues, like the benefits and usage of a floating marine house and the sustainability value proposition. We are contemplating providing floating marine houses through in-game activities in our future ocean content. Next question. Generally speaking, Fandom card holders have been disappointed, it seems, with the costume perks provided for staking, as prices of those costumes in game are only a couple of BSLT. Is there anything in the future plan to improve the value in holding a Fandom card NFT? Different/new items that could be purchased with the staked Fandom card points, maybe? Their answer: We think that the benefits of Fandom Cards are enough, as the benefits of Fandom Cards were designed according to the following. 1. Guaranteed minting land at 50% price for one server per region. 2. Chance for an airdrop of one medium land per one server in each region per 3 Fandom Card NFTs held. 3. Chance for a BSLT airdrop according to the number of level of Fandom Cards NFT held. Regarding the additional use of points acquired through the staking, the Archeworld business team and game design team are still in the process of deciding what we can do. So we will share any information on it when a plan for point utilization is decided. All right. Next question here, guys. I know right now Phantom Card holders are happy since SANA land minting is coming April 9th to 11th. So this was sent to them a couple days before the minting. And prices have risen dramatically. But the anticipation is that once the land minting is done, these lose value until the next new region launches, which would be EU. Europe region is still in the works and being planned. Is that correct? Any other regions being thought about after EU? Their answer. Plans for a server for NASA region were promised within the first quarter of 2023, according to our roadmap. However, we wondered whether it was the right decision to open NASA region before achieving meaningful results in the Asian server. We are very happy and grateful that we were able to open NASA region according to the plans thanks to the interest in Archeworld from our players and the effort of our business development team. If we are able to achieve meaningful results in the NASA region, it is likely that in our third to fourth quarter of this year, we will be able to think about expanding to additional regions while launching our service in the EU region. For now, we will do our best to achieve meaningful results in NASA servers. So very intriguing information about this EU. To me, it sounded like EU isn't 100% guaranteed to happen. Like, it sounds like, NA needs to do well. But with them opening a second NA server, I think that goes to show that NA is doing well right now. At least the data that they have and the signups that they have and the land sales that they have. So it points to yes for an EU server right now. But they were saying that NASA has to be, good, which makes financial sense as in a business, right? They're not going to keep throwing, money away. If the servers aren't profitable enough for them, if they're not making the company money, they're not just going to release another server and just lose more money, right? So it's very interesting. I take this personally as EU is kind of a maybe right now, which is definitely not what EU players want to hear. But I could be reading that wrong. I could be reading that response wrong. I would love to have a follow-up on that. But that's what I get out of this. It says it is likely that in the third to fourth quarter of this year, we will be able to think about expanding to additional regions while launching our service in the EU region. So it could mean that they are planning to launch EU on the third quarter to fourth quarter, and then maybe they're going to expand after that. That could be what they're trying to say there. So again, I would love clarification on that. I could be reading this wrong. But yeah, so it has me a little worried for EU, but with the second server announcement for NA, the updated answer that they provided me, I don't think there's anything to worry about anymore about EU. I think EU is definitely going to happen. So, Q3, Q4 of this year is the plan right now, it looks like. So there's still more, guys. There's still great information to come. So let's go on. Originally, it was stated that all regions would be on the same patch when they launched in their respective areas, meaning NASA server will launch with Arena, Ancestral Hunting Grounds, and Kadum Raid, etc. Is this still the plan? Any plans on a contest or prizes for servers first, things like first Kadum kill, or first to 13,000 gear score, or first to 55? Their answer. The launch of the NA server will include the Phase 2 update and will subsequently receive the same updates performed in the Asian region. To commemorate the launch of the Asian region, we held promotions that gave rewards through missions for each week. For the NASA server launch, we are also planning on carrying out similar promotions that are linked to your in-game performance. All right. I know when the game launched, you were working hard fixing and improving the game, but the community really felt that there was a lack of communication for you guys during the tough times last year. We would love to hear from you guys more often, maybe a monthly letter or quarterly update. What happened to doing monthly AMAs like before the alpha? Their answer: we were unable to conduct an AMA after the launch since we were prioritized preparing for updates and responding to issues, but we will plan on holding AMAs if it is deemed necessary. All right. Next question. We are gaming nerds. We'd love to see data like how many player deaths has there been, how many trees have been chopped, how many bots been banned, how much Arceum created, etc. I believe this type of information is so cool and gets the community talking. ArcAge and Arcworld has always been about the community playing these games and the connections that we make with one another, in my opinion. Would this be something you would consider doing in the future? Please. Their answer here: although it is difficult to disclose all of our data, we are preparing to disclose some of the data with a focus on meaningful figures. I'll take it. I like that. So we're going to get some data eventually. Very happy. Next question. A few questions from the community members. Weethan asks, Quake triple slash win. Flame endless arrows win. Also, why no magic defense on shields? So the ancestral skills you know about from ArcAge are already applied to some extent in Arcworld. We are currently not considering adding magic defense to shields. In the future, we will be providing it as a buff from items such as Luna Gems. Then Lee King wants to know about Sea War. Naval content like Kraken, Leviathan, Ghost Ships, ocean content is a lot of fun. We are looking forward to it. Is there anything you can tell us about it? The current players of Arcworld don't even know how terrifying sea bugs are. So their answer: we agree that the oceans of Arcworld are very important. We are preparing the ocean content update for this summer. Big thumbs up for me right there. Summer is going to be good, guys. Whew. If they can launch ocean content in summer, I'm sold. All right, next question. Dungeons are next on the roadmap, but we know very little about them. Care to share some information on what to expect? So once again, this happened before the dungeon update. So I know we are late to reply, but on April 6th, Dungeons and Conquest Wars were updated in the Asian server. In Dungeons, you can obtain Arceum by defeating specific monsters and item enchantment materials by defeating the final boss. And then here's the last question here. Any more information on the future of Arcworld would you like to share today? And their answer here: the Arcworld team is putting a lot of thought into ensuring that the value of equipment items and high demand resources continue to maintain value. Currently, we are developing minting of users' equipment into NFTs. We will try to update it quickly. And then, of course, thank you guys for your time. I wish you and the team the best in the future, and I cannot wait to see what you have in store for us. And they responded with thank you. So, again, thank you, Excel Games. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. A lot to digest, a lot to talk about. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Post down in the comment section your thoughts, your opinions, your questions as well, because maybe we'll be able to do another interview, in the future. So please post those questions. Again, thank you, Excel Games. Thank you for all the time and the information, and thank you for creating Arcworld. I personally love this game. I think this is a great game, and go check it out if you haven't already. If you've just watched this video and you've watched to the end here and you haven't signed up for North America, South America server, go sign up. April 19th, the game launches. The start of the server is just absolutely a blast. It's so much fun. And there's just people everywhere. There's going to be, most likely queues, lots and lots of people, just a good time. Lots of PvP. The game is PvP everywhere. Literally, this game is PvP everywhere. Open world PvP, this is it. Small group PvP, raid versus raid PvP, and even economical PvP. So people buying and monopolizing items and selling things like that. Economical PvP is another form of PvP. So thank you guys. I will talk to you guys later.